Hi, I'm Mark Turner. Welcome to Let's Talk Macarthur, our fourth episode today. Today we have one of our partner businesses recording for the first time in an interview. And each month they're going to bring us a bonus episode with some useful hints, tips, information, and advice that will be useful to all businesses in the Macarthur area. So our guest today was a student of Ellerslie High School. I won't give away the years. I don't think she'd like me to do that. A graduate of University of Western Sydney with a Bachelor of Commerce and Accounting. Experienced director and strong professional with a demonstrated history in accounting industry. Named as one of the top 50 women in accounting in 2017 and top accounting influencer in 2019. Skilled in cloud accounting and passionate about building better businesses. She is actively involved in a number of community and business organisations over the years, including the Greater Narellan Chamber of Commerce, membership of Camden and Campbelltown Chambers of Commerce, and Christmas in Narellan. Author of article 3 Reasons Why You Should Be Running Your Business from the Cloud. Bryn is very passionate about giving back to the community and often seen out and about supporting our local charities and not-for-profit organisations to raise much needed funds. Welcome, Bryn Robinson.
Thanks, Mark.
That was fairly long.
It was. Thank you for having me.
Welcome along. And I'm really excited about having Fitzpatrick Robinson on board as a partner for Let's Talk Macarthur. We're in the very early stages, but I think today we're going to get a little bit from yourself and learn a little bit more about Bryn Robinson and who she is. And then every month we're going to have some extra bonus episodes from Fitzpatrick Robinson that will give some advice to the local business community, which is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, sounds great.
Yeah, excellent. So I thought I'd actually start off with today because you are very passionate about cloud-based businesses.
Correct.
So how did that come about?
I think many years ago, we were very early subscribers to Xero. I think about 10 to 12 years ago, we jumped on board with Xero. We had frustrations with the softwares that we were using in our business. And then it kind of evolved from there, really. We started to look at how we could run our business in the cloud. We had inefficiencies based on having server-based programs and softwares. We were running multiple offices at the time, so having a server in one office and then trying to use the technology available at the time to get everybody to log in. There was downtime. There was lots of inefficiencies in our business, and we just thought at the time there's got to be a better way. And yeah, we started investigating add-ons to Xero and what other cloud-based softwares we could utilize, given that our internet was so strong. We didn't feel that we needed to run servers anymore. And we very quickly moved all but one of our software pieces to the cloud more than 10 years ago now. So the only one that we had a little bit of struggle moving to the cloud was the document manager, because it's such a big part of our business. We do hold so many documents for ourselves and for clients, and finding a suitable cloud-based software for that did take a little bit longer, but pretty much every other element of running our professional services business could be moved to the cloud.
Yeah, well, it's really interesting. There's so many different cloud-based services now. What's the process that you go through in terms of risk and compliance to make sure that they're going to work for you and your clients?
For us, we have a department in our actual business. So we have somebody who's a project manager internally. So we basically scope out the different softwares. Given the amount of years that we've been doing this for now, we find that we pretty much have our go-tos. There are industry leaders in all different areas. I guess we have probably a greater dealing with trades and professional services, just organically being in Macarthur. A lot of our client base are tradies, so it's tried and tested. So we've got a handful of really good apps that add on to Xero for them. And obviously being professional services business ourselves, we try and test a lot of different apps. But we've got a segment of our business, I guess, that we put specifically for that.
Yeah, which is great. And so you put that investment into it to make sure you're getting it right for your clients and for yourselves, which is good. Yes. And having experienced it this year for the first time firsthand, my previous accountancy business that I dealt with, they were so old school. I don't think they changed their practices since the 1980s or 90s. So
change is the big thing. Yeah.
Yeah, the change was massive, and I guess that's a huge amount of investment from your side of the business
It has been,
yes.
Yeah.
So previously it was Rick and yourself, and then you came together. So when did you first come together?
21 years ago. I had my 21st birthday.
Wow.
This year. So that was exciting.
Congratulations. Wow.
Yeah, I sort of
I say party for the group.
Well, I actually got to have a party because it was in February, so that was good. We did get to celebrate that. So yeah, 21 years ago, I finished my degree. I was working for a firm where I probably wasn't given a lot of progress. I was probably going to be held at the level that I was at for quite some time. And I got the opportunity to meet Rick through a friend. And basically, yeah, it's been full steam ahead since then. 10 years or so ago, I became a director in the business and we formed a partnership. We opened the office in Narellan because we could see what a growth area that was in Macarthur. We predominantly were based in Campbelltown prior to that, and we did have a Picton office as well. But yeah, we've evolved and basically now we're running out of one big office in Gregory Hills.
Yeah, so always looking ahead and picturing what the future is going to look like, which is why I would say you've moved to the hub in Gregory Hills.
Correct, yeah.
What a fantastic facility that is, obviously.
It's amazing, yeah.
Yeah, parking was always an interesting one early on because there's so many tradies that were still involved and around the area.
Yeah.
Now I imagine it's not a problem because nobody can go there except if you're working in the office. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, well, we're actually all working from home at the moment. And I guess that's just a part of the technology that we've developed into the business. We can easily adapt to situations like this. And we've basically, even our receptionist is at home.
Yeah.
She can answer the phones from anywhere.
Which is great. Nice segue, because my next point was that there was an article that you wrote, tips for running your business from home in 2019. And that's probably more relevant now than it was back then.
Yeah, it was. It's something that we've liked to offer to our team to be able to work from home. They don't like to do it all the time because we're obviously a very strong unit and we like to get together and spend time together. But it is something that we do offer because in certain situations it's necessary, and it becomes something that the team basically can just move between sites. They can be at home, they can be in the office, and their work isn't affected whatsoever.
So how many in the team, Bryn?
At the moment we've got 13 and we've got another person joining us in September.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Right. Local business employing. I love it. That's fantastic. So at the moment, how do you keep the team connected with each other?
We use Zoom a lot. We do Monday morning meetings. We have a senior manager, Jessica, who you're familiar with from BCRG. Jessica touches base with everybody every single day. And at the moment, we're doing we've got a couple of different team initiatives going on because we are all separate and all at home. We have our Wednesday, your Wednesday hump day. We're doing Wednesday fun day, I guess we'll call it. And we do some Kahoot games and that type of thing. We all do that around 2 o'clock. And then the team have a wellness afternoon on Wednesday just to give them that midweek refresh. Nice. Because working from home, there's no beginning, there's no end, and your weekends tend to not even become a weekend due to the restrictions at the moment. So we're all doing that on a Wednesday just to give us that refresh to keep us going for that next couple of days of the week. And we're also about to kick off Fitztember, which is going to be a stepathon to see how far we can walk around Australia as a team.
Nice. That'll be pretty cool. Yeah.
We're not competitive at all, so.
Yeah, it sounds like you probably are.
Just a touch.
I'm going to touch on a couple of questions for yourself.
Sure.
Not so much the business. So you ready for these?
Sure.
Okay. So the first one is going through your younger years and going through your study and that sort of stuff and coming into business. Who was your greatest inspiration during that period of time?
I've probably got two. Definitely to begin with, it was Rick. meeting him and just seeing the way that he executed his work. Everything was done with excellence, really compassionate with the clients and empathetic, and building relationships. I think that's one really strong part of being a good accountant, is to being able to be empathetic, but also being able to build that relationship with the client and build that trust. Because once you have that, the client will let you into their business, and that's what we like to do. We're passionate about being inside the business, not just externally giving advice on history. We want to be inside the business day to day. And that's sort of, that was one big thing. And then probably my second biggest mentor was Adriana Kerr. We came together through a networking group and then worked closely through the board of Narellan Chamber of Commerce. And to have another professional that's not necessarily in the same industry, but that you can bounce off when you've got business. Every business has similar sort of issues and similar sort of things that they need to deal with day to day, and having somebody else who's external that you can bounce off was a really great asset of mine through the years, and still is.
Yeah, which is a really key thing. So in all my years as a general manager in the past business I was involved with, I've always had a network of other GMs from other businesses, not in the same field. Because even though we are in different industries and selling different products or whatever the case may be, we still face with the same challenges with staff, relating to clients, all of that sort of stuff. So that's a really good point. And Adriana has been so successful in what it is that she's done and put together with her team. As well. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. If you had a magic stick, and please,
interesting.
Yeah, interesting, right? If you had a magic stick, which are the three things you would change in the world? And there's an obvious one at the moment, right?
Yeah.
So
I was going to try and stay away from that in this interview because I think it's talked about so much. But obviously, to get back to whatever's going to be our new normal would be definitely number one.
Yep. So get away from that. So you've got another two.
More accountants, more good senior accountants. The challenge is very real to find good seniors who have a similar passion to us. And that would be something that would make my life so much easier.
Is there a drop off in people that are studying accountancy, do you think?
I just think there's such a broad scope for when you're studying accounting as to where you can then take your career. And like the corporates and the banks, and that's a big challenge for us, is that's where a lot of the accountants that are studying are going. Public practice just isn't seeming to be as desirable as a career. But I mean, we do find when we find really good ones, they're great. But it does take a lot of searching.
Different mindset, I guess, is
very different. Because you have to be able to focus on multiple different businesses. It's not just one business or one role. You have to be able to move between different businesses, different industries, different personality types. It's a very different sort of accounting to, say, doing commercial accounting for one really big business where you'd have a lot of heavy work, but it's basically only having to know one business. Very different.
So one more thing. You're going to change one more thing with your magic stick.
Oh, wow. Not really sure. You've thrown me with this one. I have to come back to that.
All right, you can come back to it whenever you're ready. So here's another tough one then. If you were to write a book about yourself, what would the title be?
I always have a favorite quote, and I take this to my team often, and it's not something that I wrote, obviously, but it's something that I always try to live by, and that's basically, a comfort zone is a wonderful place, but nothing ever grows there. So pushing yourself out of your comfort zone is something that I'm big on. I don't love doing this sort of thing. I don't love networking. I don't love public speaking, but I push myself to do it because I know it's all about growth, and it's all about, personal growth and showing others as well, when you're a leader in a business, what you can do if you push yourself. So
good answer.
Something around those lines.
I love it. What's the one thing you wish you had known when you began your career?
I wish I probably had known to back myself as a leader and a business owner. In hindsight, I probably do wish that I had done that sooner. Rick, through want of trying, he did try for many years. I just I didn't back myself. I didn't think that it was for me. But now I do wish that I'd have backed myself, because really, if you put your mind to it, you can do anything.
Yeah, 100%.
And yeah, I probably should have done that sooner.
Yeah, it's going back to that old quote, and I can't remember whether it might have been Dale Carnegie or Zig Ziglar, but it's the one Toyota's using in their ads at the moment.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to be great to start. You just need to start something to be great.
Correct.
So,
yes.
Yeah, I love that. It's a good sentiment. Who are the three people who have been most influential to you? Now, you covered off people before in terms of greatest inspiration, right? But I think in our personal space, so stepping out of the business mindset, in our personal space, I think we always have people that have been really influential to us in the way we develop as characters.
Yeah, I don't think that they'd be too different because of the friendships that I've built with those two people that I mentioned earlier as well. But I mean, definitely my parents. I wouldn't be where I am without their support. They let me live at home until I finished my uni degree. There was no pressure to move out. You know, they've always been my biggest supporter. And you can't do anything from a young age without family support, just family in general. And I've got a great friendship circle as well, very supportive, been around for a very long time. So family and friends in general.
Yeah, and that's super, super important, and especially when we go through these periods where you need to stay connected with people. I've been signing everything off on my text messages and emails lately is just stay safe, stay sane, and stay connected. And I think that's really important. And
connection is so important at the moment. And I really feel for a lot of people who may live on their own or live, you know, in an apartment on their own. I mean, it must be so difficult. So being grateful for what you do have at the moment, I think is really important, and being empathetic for others that maybe don't have as much.
Yeah, absolutely. Just going through this, how would you define success?
I think success is internal for me. I like the small wins. I don't need to have great big wins. I like the small wins. And if I can achieve something every day that's small, every week that's maybe a little bit bigger. And I think team success, for me, if my team's successful, I'm successful.
Yeah, and what a great sentiment. I love that. I have a little post-it note that's stuck on the side of the printer in my office with 4 words on it. And I used to, when I was a little bit younger, and I've had those 4 words, and I rewrite the post-it note out sort of whenever it loses its stickiness and stick a new one up there. I love that.
Yeah.
And everybody talks about goals, and you've got to have goals, and goals sort of attainment measures your success. But I've just got these 4 words, and I learnt to take them not just on a large scope, but exactly what you're talking about, and just break it down for the little things as well. And part of it for trying to get this together for Let's Talk Macarthur. So number 1 is vision. That's the number 1 word at the top there. Number 2 is belief. Because if you don't have the belief in what your vision is, then you're not going to get anywhere. Number 3 is persistence. Because without that, but none of those 3 matters without the last word, and the last word is obviously action. And now I'm taking that because I'm working from home, trapped in my little office, doing all those bits and pieces that people advise in terms of taking breaks and that sort of stuff. But breaking it down, just trying to connect with people and building a nice base in the real estate side of the business as well. So, and you're right, it's the little goals that you achieve,
and celebrating those as well, like making sure that you acknowledge those for yourself and for your team and for everyone around you. I think it's important that you celebrate them.
Yep, absolutely. If you could step into my shoes, what would you have asked yourself that I didn't?
I think maybe from a business sense, why technology is so important and why we focus so heavily on it.
So, Bryn, why is technology so important, and why do you focus so heavily on it?
Because I think if you're running a business, time is something that you can't create more of. And technology creates time, in my opinion. It automates processes, it eliminates double handling, it improves your cash flow. There's multiple benefits of it. Just as an example, we've got multiple clients who we've used technology to remove any debtors or accounts receivable from their business.
Wow.
They have nobody owing them money now, whereas stepping back, 2 years, 18 months, they may have had $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 owing to them at any given time, but we've been able to implement technology to turn that around, and they basically now get paid within 7 days or less of creating the invoice. Something like that puts so much cash flow into your business and can turn around the way you make decisions, can turn around your growth, and it can just move your business to a whole next level. So
no, that's which is absolutely fantastic. Geez, I remember going through the days of the old dot matrix printer spreadsheets and going through the debtors through that and seeing what you got at 30 days and 60 days and 90 days. And
back in the day of printing out the bank statement and putting codes alongside of it and sitting at the computer and entering it in. None of that anymore. Fantastic.
And time is the one commodity we can't get back. So
correct. And really business owners would be spending hours and hours and hours of time doing things that if they had the right technology in place, they could automate, and that gives them back time to build their business. So it's a no-brainer, really.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got 10 questions for you. These are pretty quick fire questions.
Okay.
I didn't write them. I'm just going to use them.
Okay.
I've told the other interviewees that James Lipton from Inside the Actor Studio used to use them.
Yep.
Whenever he finished an interview with the likes of Al Pacino and Robert De Niro, etc. So
same.
Same. That's exactly right. All right. Number one, what is your favourite word?
Passionate.
Oh, I love that. What is your least favourite word?
Excuse.
What turns you on?
I just like being outside. I like the sun. I feel energetic when I'm outside in the sun near the water.
Don't get that today.
No, bad day for it.
What turns you off?
Procrastination.
Really good one. There's an excellent little, and I've used it in so many coaching and training sessions. If you go to YouTube and type in Tales of a Mere Existence, procrastination, there is an awesome little sketch video in there. Have a look at that.
Will do.
So everybody who's listening, Tales of a Mere Existence, procrastination. It is fantastic. Yeah. And you watch it and you go, yeah, okay. What sound or noise do you love?
Just the outdoors, just being outside.
Yeah. What sound or noise do you hate?
Sneezing annoys me.
It annoys you. I'm a hay fever sufferer, so I'm like Pringles. Once I start, I can't stop. What is your favourite curse word?
Oh, I do drop the F word a bit.
Oh dear, yeah, it's a common one, right? What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Oh, that's tricky. I don't know if I have them.
Oh,
I've never really, been interested in any other profession.
How good's that?
If I could be an actress, that would be great, but I'd be terrible at it.
I don't know. What profession would you not like to do?
Oh, I think there's lots of professions that I would not like to do. I'm constantly saying who'd do that job. I wouldn't be Gladys at the moment.
Oh, no, definitely not. The last one. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
I think just thanks for your effort.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Effort's it's something that you've got to show up with every single day. You've got to be persistent and you've got to be conscious about making positive effort. So yeah.
Yep. And no reward without effort is what I constantly say to my young adults that are still living in the house. Even though one has finished university, she's a high school teacher and she's teaching from home at the moment. So
that's another job I wouldn't want right now.
No, exactly right. Thank you very much, Bryn Robinson. How can people connect with Bryn Robinson or Fitzpatrick and Robinson?
We have our website, fraccounting.com.au. Call the office anytime, more than happy to chat to anybody, or just email bryn@fraccounting.com.au. It's BRYN.
Excellent. Thanks a lot, Bryn.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate your time.
Cheers.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.